Hello, I'm Diane. Welcome to my channel, Diane in Stitches, all about my sewing life, what I've made, what I'm going to make, and I hope you pick up some useful hints and tips along the way. So this week, what I'm wearing is the Ellie and Mac Going Home sweater. I've made, I think, two of these actually. First one I made, there's cuffs on, and I put cuffs on, and they were quite long, so I decided to leave them off this one, and this one turned out too short. Both French terry. This one is a bit of a wild and wacky design that I got from UK Stretch Fabrics. I mentioned them last week or week before, which I haven't ordered from them for quite a while, but they're very good quality fabrics. They went into more of a pre-order basis, so I've not actually gone on their site for a while now. Anyway, so what have I been doing this week? Well, first of all, I got the disaster of the zip on my shorts last week, that I stupidly cut the top off and then went and pulled the zipper pull off. I don't know, it probably could have been fixed. I think I would have, certainly wouldn't go on the top from the top, so I think I would have had to go from the bottom, which would have entailed removing the stopper at the bottom, and I would have had to remove the zip anyway. New zip. And I didn't bother going into town to get a red one. I just went into my box of zips. Not that I've got that many, but I've got a bag with a few zips in, and I just picked a grey one, which is hidden by the flap anyway, zip flap, so no drama. So what I will do, what I did while I was doing it, I thought it might be interesting to some people to actually see how I went about doing this zip. So I'll insert those videos now and then come back in a little while. So I just thought I'd take you along with my unforeseen journey of replacing this zip, because I inadvertently pulled the slider off the top, because I went silly and cut the top so that I could do the top stitching on the waistband. So I've actually saved myself a trip to town. I found another zip in my stash, which is a 7-inch zip, although it does look a little bit longer than that one, but I think that will do. So I'm going to follow, I've pinned back, I just wanted to try and undo as little as possible. So I've just got a bit of the waistband out of the way so that I'm in a position of the original instructions. So the difficulty here is that on the original instructions, I don't know whether you see, there's a, excuse my shaky hands, you're supposed to baste that front fly extension bit together and then stitch from the big dot to the first notch of the crotch seam. So obviously I can't really baste the front because everything's all sewn in now, and I've top stitched the front crotch seam down. So I'm just going to have to do my best to try and get these bits done with the left extension is slightly less. I'm going to have to try and squeeze the zip underneath that as best I can and sew that side, and then just get the right side in and then go back and do that as in view E, the top stitching outlining the zip area. So I have got sort of stitch lines in place that I can go over. So the first step is the zip on this side, which has to be like that. So you just need to sew that to the left front extension. I'm getting my left and right mixed up now. So that sort of has to just go in there as the first step. So what I've had to do here is get the original pattern piece out with the fly front, because I need the bottom of the zip needs to be where this large circle is. So just sort of guesstimated it a little bit, and it's sort of lined up with the top of the waist of the body there, and I've got the zip on this large circle. When I put the original zip in, this slider was slightly up from the edge, but it is supposed to be a 7-inch zip, and that's what it was. What I prefer, the method I prefer actually, was the upland trousers by Itch to Stitch, and it purposely say to get an 8-inch zip, but you only need the 7-inch. So you buy one longer, and then you bring down the slider, and then just cut off what you don't need. And I thought that was quite a good method of doing the zip, and it was a fantastic way of putting the zip in. Slightly different to this this method on this pattern, but anyway, I've got my zipper foot on now, and I've got my machine rethreaded with the red thread, because I put it all away yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead now and get this first bit on, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, so far so good. So I've got the left front zip pinned on. So now I need to just make sure these are lined up properly and smooth on the right side, so that all lies correctly on the outside. So I've just pinned the right side of the zip, but I've pinned it right through, but it really only needs pinning to this extension. But I just pinned that there just to make sure it's all in line. So I'll now pin this right side just to the extension part, and then I can remove that pin, and then I'll just sew then up this side of the zip. Okay, so there we have both sides of the zip tapes now attached on either side, so it's starting to come together. Okay, I've pinned the front down right through. This is only sewn, obviously, as I said, to the extension bit, so there's no stitching here yet, but once I've got everything else in place, I'll follow this stitching that I did before to top stitch round and round the bottom here to fully secure the zip in. Now the only thing I've got to do now before I do that, because this particular pattern didn't have a fly extension, so I've made one. I actually borrowed from another pattern, but I should have made it a bit longer. I could possibly make a longer one, but I think it does the job. I think it's that way. Then I just attach it at this bottom corner, sew it all down here on the left fly, just the extension bit, secure it at the bottom, and also then the top stitching that comes round from the other side will also catch it in a little bit as it goes. So I'll work out now that, that's my next bit to work out. Right, here we are. So I've got the fly shield on the left. So I've stitched it on there on this side, and then I've done another row of stitching there, which makes a double row to attach it more on the outside, so that that's not flopping about. so that's attached now, the fly shield. I'll put that pin back in later. So so now I think all I need to do is pin that out of the way and then do this this top stitching around the outside of the fly, and then I can start piecing together the waistband again. So there we have the top stitching done on the outside, just about managed it, and then on the inside I've secured the fly shield. That's stitched down there so that doesn't flop about, and it's attached on the left hand side there, so when the zips pull down you've got the fly shield there. So there we have it, all done and dusted now. So there's new zip in. I literally just slotted the the body back up into the waistband and re-top stitched where I'd had to undo. I was very lazy, I didn't take the button off. Obviously I couldn't do much on this side because of the buttonhole, so this has gone a little bit haywire there with the having to work around that buttonhole. So, but it's all done. The fly shield is in, secured, which there wasn't one on the pattern, and that all was a good morning's work, I think, getting that done. So at least I can wear them now. Got that bit of fabric. I just thought I'd show you. These are this is the zipper foot that comes with the machines, which I don't use. I found it's okay in some instances, but I found them a little bit bulky. But I got one of these which you put onto the presser foot shank. You have to take the adapter off, but you can move that quite a way, left or right, and then you just tighten up the screw at the back. So that's just attached, and I find this very good. It's also used for piping as well, which I've never done, but so I prefer that zipper type foot to this one when I'm putting a zipper in. So that was how I did it. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was a little bit fiddly trying to work out just getting the top of the waistband out of the way, and as I say, it was a little bit. It didn't go back exactly. I think there might have been a little bit of a difference in the seam or something. I don't know, but it's a little bit of a pucker. But no drama. I'm not bothered about it. So I've tried it. Put it on with a couple of tops. I've gone through my wardrobe. The Hansi top looks lovely with it, the one that I made for the So Frugal challenge. And then I also tried it with a blouse I made a couple of years ago with some African fabric. The one I've got, I don't know if you can see, it's now. I showed it the other week. Dark navy background, and it's got a little sort of fluffy, like a cotton, the head of a cotton plant in a white and red. I was a bit disappointed with that blouse. I made it from a pattern. I've got the pattern here to show you. It's an old pattern. It's 1994, Simplicity 9012, and it looks a fairly good length on the illustration, and it does give you the finished length. Whether I looked at that, I don't know, but when I'd finished it, I wore it with some jeans, and when I bent over, I got a big gap of my back. So this could do with lengthening a little, well, more than a little, I think. I think it's there for 18 3/4 inches. Now, because I'm long-waisted, never thought, anyway. But it actually doesn't look bad with the shorts, because the shorts are a bit of a higher waist garment. So it doesn't look too bad with those, actually. The other thing I noted was that the zip is a different way around. I don't know what the proper way is. they say, well, it should be the same as buttons, left over right. But I think it's the Upland trousers I've got. I think they were right. I think they were right over. So I've got trousers that with the zips going both ways, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody bothers about zips in the correct or incorrect way. But anyway, it's done. So I think they look quite nice. I'm quite happy with those actually. So that's that one out of the way. The next thing I did was the Easy Does It skirt by Pattern Emporium in the in that blue linen viscose mix that I got from Pound Fabrics. Now this skirt isn't meant to have any stretch. It's supposed to be a rigid woven fabric, and I've made both versions with fabric with a slight stretch to it, mechanical stretch, but the blue has, I think, a little bit more stretch than the natural that I got from Sherwood's fabrics, because it does it, and I don't know, I'm a little bit undecided about this one. To me, I just had when I played back the videos that I'll put up, I just thought this just looks so frumpy, and yet I didn't think that about the natural one for some reason. I'm not sure why. Or I mean, you tell me, do I look more frumpy? Did I look frumpy in the other one? Trying and get my wardrobe so that I'm not frumpy, but I'm 66, so I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to dress like I'm 20. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, so what I did with this skirt was with the other one I put side pockets in, seam pockets in, and I didn't want to do that. I thought I'll try the patch pockets. So they're supposed to go on the front. There's a patch just either side of the centre seam, and you can either put a flap on it or not. And I just didn't like the look of it. I just thought, I'm not sure about this. Shall I go back to the inseam pockets? And I got the fabric I used for the natural one, because I didn't want to use the same fabric in case it looked a bit heavy behind, see it through the fabric, through the body of the skirt. So I put, like I did with the natural one, I'd used a cotton poplin for the pocket bag. And then I thought, I'm not so sure about this. I thought, shall I put the patch pockets, shall I put them on the back like you would with jeans? And in the end, I just got this, what they call analysis paralysis, and I decided to just leave the pockets off altogether. So I haven't bothered with the pockets. But that shouldn't make a difference to how it looks, really, to look or seem more frumpy. I don't know. But I'm just not as happy with it. But whether it'll look better with this new Donny shirt that I'm on with the multicoloured fabric, we'll come on to that in a minute. But I'm not enthralled with it. I'll wear it, but I'm not enthralled with it. And they're quite a loose fit, actually. I made a smaller size than I measure for on the Pattern Emporium website. And I actually put shorter elastic in this one because I thought the natural one was a little bit on the loose side around the waist. And this just seems, they're falling, I mean, they're not going to fall down. They fall lower, so they're more sort of like a mid-rise, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just not as happy with this one as I was with the natural coloured one. But anyway, 'tis done. It will get worn. With whatever top. Obviously, I think it looks better tucked in than the tops hanging out over the skirt top. But I've never been happy with tucking in, especially with an elastic waist. But it is only at the back. I don't think it's an excessive gather. But I have to do that because of getting it over my hip. But it does actually go over my hip with plenty to spare. So I could actually probably size down at the waist. Anyway, it is done. I might make a shorter one next time and see how that goes without the splits and just make a plain, sort of like just a everyday plain skirt, maybe just knee length or just below knee length. We'll see anyway. So then this week, I haven't had much time this week because we've been to-ing and fro-ing, which I'll explain in a little while. But I have cut out my my Donny shirt with this fabric that I got last year in the one-off Beyond the Pink Door subscription box that I bought. So I have actually, obviously, I've got 2.5 meters of this fabric, and it's only used barely half of that. So I've managed to lengthen this one. As I say, you remember that the silk one I couldn't lengthen because I only had 1 meter. And I've actually decided to try and I've sort of shortened this V. This forms sort of like the lapel, and then joins onto the collar. I didn't find it was. Some people complained that it was too low. I didn't find that with the previous one, but I thought, well, I'll just make it a little bit shorter and see how that behaves. And as I said, I've lengthened it. I think I lengthened it about 1 inch because in the end, when I finally got that one done, I didn't find the length to be too much of a problem, having thought it was going to be far too short for me. But anyway, that's lengthened. So I've got plenty of room to work with the hem now, because I put a binding hem on the last one because I didn't want to take up too much of the hem, to, reducing the length even more. So that's the next one on the. So hopefully I'll get that done. As I say, we've been a little bit busy this week with going off out and about. I've decided I'm not going to do the Sew April blouse challenge now. It's just too close to really get the end of the month. I don't think I want to try and get this done before we go away. I've got another project I'm going to probably try and get done before we go away, a shirt for Keith. So I'm not going to do the April blouse challenge now. So that's at least one pressure off. But what I'm going to do for Keith is with this fabric. Is a shirt which I've made him 3 shirts previously. I think they were all last year. One with a navy blue. It's a cotton poplin, but it's a really lovely soft cotton poplin, little white dots on it. That was from Pound Fabrics. And then he chose some fabric. We went to Harrogate. It was my birthday last year, and we went to Harrogate for the day. Went to Betty's Tea Rooms and had an afternoon tea, which was beautiful. And there's a fabric shop in Harrogate, which of course you've got to go and visit. And he spotted these fabrics, Rose and Hubble. I think they're Rose and Hubble, like quilting cottons, and they were a little bit way out. And I didn't really, but I thought it was a bit flabbergasted that he'd chosen them. But I made him 2 shirts from them, sort of like a tropical. I'll put pictures of tropical designs. Made sure I tried my best to pattern match the front. And there is, I don't know if you can spot it, but there is a breast pocket on the left as well, which you can barely see on the patterned ones. You can see it more on the navy one. And I make this shirt for this pattern, Quick Sew 3422. Now the beauty with this pattern is that there's different collar sizes, because Keith he used to be a 16.5, he's 17.5 now, but yet he fits into a medium for the body, which it says the corresponding neck size for a medium is 15.5. But the beauty with this pattern is that you can mix and match any collar size with any body size. So if you've got a smaller neck and a bigger body, vice versa. So that's quite a useful. And I don't think I realised that when I bought it. So it was purely luck that we got that one, where I could actually put the different sized collar on the shirt. But when we went to Birmingham last year, and we went to Guthrie and Garney after visiting the market and Barry's and the usual. We went to Guthrie and Garney, and he spotted, this was a roll end, and he spotted this and liked it. So I think there's 1.8 meters on it, and that is just enough for that shirt actually. But it's one of these where you've got an opposite pattern on the back. So he didn't want too much. I think he just wants the inside collar stand and probably the underside of the collar. He's got some shirts where there's different fabrics on the collar, on the inside of the collar neck. So he'd forgotten we'd got that actually. I said, "Did you want that shirt making for the holiday?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, go on then." So that's another one to add to the list. So hence, I'm not even going to think about the Sew April blouse challenge. I was wondering, I don't know, this is an old shirt of Keith's, and I was going to turn the collar. I've done a few turning collars for. He keeps shirts for quite a while, but they do go on the inside neck, just shred. And when I've done one before, all I've done is take this bit out, turn it round, and slot it back in. But this one was fixed to the collar stand as well. A second, they've obviously sewn, because all I was unpicking was the top stitching, but they'd obviously stitched it to the collar stand, sort of sandwiched it, and then turned the collar stand down to put it onto the body. But then as I started unpicking it all, the collar stands just shredding as well. So I keep seeing these blogs and videos about, I know people go to charity shops and pick up men's shirt. He's had this. I must have had this about 25 years. Bought it in America for Eddie Bauer. 100% cotton. I keep seeing people making other things out of men's shirts. They go and get an extra large one and then take it all apart and make something. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know whether to bother. The inside's a lot better. Obviously the outside's a bit faded as well. Not sure it's even my colour, or Keith doesn't want anything from it, so that could be for the recycling, I suppose. So, but that'll not be imminent. So that'll be. I might sit looking at that for quite some time before I think, can I be bothered? But anyway, we'll see. So the other thing we've been doing, as I say, we've had a bit of a busy week. We went to Meadowhall on Wednesday. I hate that place, but if we go early enough, it's not too bad. Crap before the crowds appear. Went to Boots to try and get some bits and bobs for the holiday. We've decided to wear some flight socks to stop, hopefully prevent getting DVTs. It's a 4.5 hour flight to Cyprus, so we've got our flight socks and a few little travel essentials, so we're all set for that now. And we were going to have lunch out because I got my pension on Tuesday, just the part. The initial one is just like a part month, so I get my full one in May. But I said, let's go out and have a little treat, and but we ended up, we couldn't. Around Meadowhall there's a food hall place, and there's various restaurants. There's like fast food things downstairs, and then there's restaurants upstairs. And they're all a bit like they're chain places. But we decided not to bother. In the end, we bought a sandwich from Marks and Spencer's and a smoothie, and went and sat just on one of the benches in the main thoroughfare and just ate our sandwich, and people watched, and then we came home. But so I thought, well, we'll go out another time perhaps. But then I'd also decided, when I first started doing the vlogging, I tried to use my camera and use the phone as a monitor because the camera doesn't have a fold-out screen. So it worked once and then it didn't work again. So I put the camera back in the cupboard where it's been for a couple of years at least. I hardly use this camera. I bought it when we got back from Cyprus, exchanged it with another camera that I had previously, and I'd hardly used it. So I'd thought about selling it because it's a compact camera, and the buttons and knobs are very close together, and I've got this tremor. And the other thing I don't like is when I bring it up, because I'm wearing glasses now, when I bring it up to my eye, I'm cracking because I don't like looking at the screen. I prefer to bring it with a camera. I prefer to use the eyepiece. And so I've been thinking about selling it because I've never really got on with this camera. So I decided to get an online quote from a camera shop in Sheffield. They've been there for years. It's a family firm, and they've been on the same road forever. I think I bought my very first SLR camera, not digital, from them, and they just moved premises a long time ago. Still, they moved to slightly bigger premises at the other side of the road, and it got quite a good price. They gave me quite a good quote. Because I've still got all the original thing, I got the box and everything. And then I said, well, can I bring some other stuff in as well? I've got tripods and other bits and bobs. So we took all those in yesterday. And I'd also taken my old binoculars. We used to go, well, we go bird watching now and again, not as much as we used to. And the binoculars I had were a little bit heavy, quite heavy to use, and also the eyepieces were going a little bit faded and whatnot. So I decided to see if I could trade those in and perhaps get a new pair of binoculars. So we went into Sheffield, took all this gear to this shop, and I was absolutely surprised. In addition to the good price they were giving me for the camera, they offered me £100 for these old binoculars, and then I've got tripods and a monopod and bits and bobs, and it ended up quite a good amount, over £700. So I decided I would then use a bit of that money to get some new binoculars. So I've got some nice new binoculars. I've got to set them up to you have to set the what they call it, I can't remember what they call it now, the diopter to your, it's a bit difficult with glasses on. But anyway, they're a lot lighter than my other ones. They're a really good set of binoculars, those, so I'm quite pleased with that. And also, I'd also been spending some of my pension money as well, thinking about taking the mobile phone to go on holiday to use for photographs. Again, it's this holding things steady that I usually have issues with. So I decided, I looked into getting a gimbal thing, sort of an image stabilization gizmo. And so I ordered it the other day. When did I order it? Thursday. And because it's a bank holiday weekend, it wasn't supposed to be coming until next Tuesday. But Keith came upstairs. I was in the shower, and Keith came upstairs this morning and said, "You've got a parcel." I went, "Oh, I don't know what that is." And it had arrived today. So this is the little thing. So this, I haven't read the instructions yet. But this comes up, and then you attach your mobile phone to this bracket, which sticks on there, and it keeps everything steady. Stuck now, I'll leave that. So I'm quite. So I'm going to get my head around that. So and it's got brings a pole out as well, so you can use it as a selfie stick. Just thought I just sort of treat myself and get something, and it might be useful for the videos as well, doing the vlogging, and it's fantastic. Looking forward to getting to grips with that. So that is my week. So thank you again. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed today's content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it, because it doesn't cost you anything, and if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notice when I make a new video. So with that, I'll say bye for now. See you on the next video. Have a lovely weekend. Happy Easter to those who celebrate it, and I hope to see you again on the next video. So bye for now.